This is how we do. Oh, sorry. Wrong video channel thing. In this video, I'm going to talk about if Inoue is on the same level as Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. It's a comment I got in the YouTube section. We're interacting with y'all. Spoiler alert, he is. Play my groovy intro. Hit the subscribe button. Do a and maybe we'll see you on the second half. Okay, so Naoya Inoue is a 4-division world champion. He's undisputed at 118 pounds. He's really friggin' good. He's knocking out world champions. The problem with Naoya Inoue is, other than me having to make a lot of videos about him because everyone wants to see me make a video about him, which is kind of crazy because I never thought Inoue would be the person that I'm just sitting in a room during breaks at work talking about. It's a little different, but I'm not mad at it. You guys are giving me opportunities to grow the channel. By the way, subscribe to the channel if you think I'm a real cool dude or you enjoy these type of conversations. This sort of stems from, I guess maybe I was watching something where like Andre Berto had an IG or maybe some other fighters. I'm not even sure if it was Berto. Someone basically was like, man, you got to pump the brakes. He's not as good as Spence and Crawford. Me and Boxrec Gray, that we just recently did a podcast, we broke down how like the pound for pound list should be tiers. I think for my Substack, I'm going to actually go in and make a tiers list. If you'd like that, go to my Substack as well. I know it's a whole lot of stuff to ask of you, or just stay in here. We will start the conversation right here. But the way I look at these things are, I'm not trying to sit and argue with grown men for hours on hours about men I don't know who box. I'd like to think, where do they fit in the grand scheme of things? Inoue is obviously one of the best people in fighting. So is Usyk. So is Crawford. So is Spence. Who am I forgetting? There's like one, Bivol is up there. And then you can kind of say maybe like Tank, maybe Shakur. Those are kind of like the people I'm looking at in that top tier of the sport right now. The issue I think a lot of people are having is Inoue's fights are irrelevant to a lot of people. So that's the key word to this conversation. I think that we need to remove the word as good. I think that in a way, based on where he's fighting and basing on moving up divisions, he is as good as those fighters because based on any metric we have as boxing, he's winning his fights and he's winning them impressively, stopping champions. He's not just getting decision wins. He's making emphatic statements. He's only really lost a few rounds, and the one round he lost to Donaire, he also dropped Donaire in that fight. Like it was a competitive fight at times, but in a way turned the tide and won the rematch. So when we hear who has he fought or how good is he, what we're really hearing, and this is the answer to the question, so we don't know how long this video will be because I'm going to answer the question very quickly. What they're really saying is, how relevant is Inoue? How relevant is Inoue, and does relevancy matter in a pound-for-pound list? If your pound-for-pound list is based on someone being relevant to your life, being on television, watching the fights live, getting excited about it, having friends over, Inoue is rather irrelevant for the U.S. market. He's never had a big fight in the U.S. When he fought Antonio Nueves, that was probably his biggest opportunity fight. Maybe you could say Jason Maloney on Halloween. But really, there hasn't been like a tentpole, huge fight week event for Naoya Inoue. So what I'm hearing is Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are more relevant. And I think the other underlying thing I'm hearing is they're also underappreciated. We've had Errol Spence and Terence Crawford in the shadow of Canelo Alvarez and currently kind of in the shadow of Gervonta Davis. They don't draw as much as him, and Gervonta's kind of taking over for this next generation. In theory, this should be one of these guys' era right now, and they're fighting for who will be the best fighter after Floyd Mayweather in the welterweight division, which is a huge thing. Some people, I don't really feel this way, feel the fight should have happened sooner. The fight's happening, boxing's messed up, that's just the way it is. At least we're getting the fight. But when I hear people downplay Inoue's achievement or even say like, oh, he's not one of the best guys or he's only a top 5, To me, Inoue's like a top 2 type fighter. What he's doing is unprecedented. What he's doing is not normal. It's not common to see someone move up in weight, fight the very best champions, established champions, and stop them. And then not try to do the Bernard Hopkins thing or the Gennady Golovkin thing that got Golovkin kind of disliked, where you just fight these champions that are, or the challengers that are more than likely overmatched. Once he's beaten the guys, then he moves up. Like BoxRec Gray said, if you look, there's a world we could look at where the bantamweight division in a few weeks could be Jason Maloney, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and Nonito Donaire as the bantamweight champions. Those are the guys that Inoue beat to win that title. So that is literally cleaning out division. I like Spence and Crawford, but they don't have that ability to say that. That being said, their fights have meant way more to me when both of their careers, I've watched it basically start to finish, or as much as start to finish as possible of both fighters. So, despite everything, I'm going to always have a little bias towards Spence and Crawford because they're more relevant to my life. The word good, all these top 10 fighters are good. The top 5 fighters are great. Inoue's an all-time great. Spence Crawford, the winner of that fight, is an all-time great. Usyk's an all-time great. Bivol looks like he's an all-time great. Canelo's an all-time great. Jermell Charlo is bordering on that all-time great. He's in the very great category right now. What we're hearing is, in my opinion, people that are not watching Inoue's fights, that are kind of seeing some highlights, unaware of these fighters he's fighting, and are quick to dismiss him. Are quick to dismiss him as, okay, this isn't what everyone's saying it is. This is a creation because we've been lied to. People are cynical and so forth and so on. And I also think that some people are doing these type of things to stay relevant, like myself, guilty. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. I cry. Some people are doing this because it gets their name in the headlines, or you can keep your YouTube subscribers engaged because people want to hear content about Spence and Crawford. It's a fantastic fight. I'm excited. We got more Spence and Crawford talking head videos coming out this week. I know you're absolutely overjoyed, but anyone that can't see a comparison between Inoue, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, you probably just don't enjoy fighters that aren't convenient for you to watch. And it's as simple as that. So if a great fighter is fighting and it's not on TV times that you enjoy, and maybe even deeper, maybe you just like certain networks. Maybe the presentation of certain networks really appeal to you. So when you watch other networks, there's things about it that are off-putting. If that might be what it is, I could see how you could get frustrated with the Inoue hype because he's not on a distribution channel you like, or he's not fighting at a convenient time zone. But if you sit down and watch the fight, you're looking at one of the greatest fighters in the modern era, in my opinion, up there with Usyk, up there with Spence and Crawford, up there with Canelo. This guy is that good. The problem is, with U.S. fight fans, people don't want to be told anything. Did people enjoy the vaccine mandate? No, because they didn't want to be told stuff. This is what I'm getting with this Inoue thing. People don't want to be told. They don't want to be told what they have to think is good and not good. There you go.